Remember, own it. Own it. Never be afraid to own it. Don't be fake. Own it. We are talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We are already in, my goodness, season 10, episode 11. Kiss and Tell, the one we've all been waiting for. I personally have not been waiting for it, but the one that we've all been waiting for. All right, so let's start at Kyle's vanity party, which is technically for charity, and I guess she does raise some money, but it's really just a sad circus to cover up her loveless marriage and her frustrating life and her increasing feelings of sorry, I'm so mean. Her increasing feelings of irrelevance in this world. Beverly Hills in particular, even though I only lived there for about 5 years, it was a place that as a child I was always taken to by my mother. All of her friends lived in Bel Air, and you know, we used to go to these big houses, and she would drag me around to these big parties when I was a little girl, and I would always be the youngest I would always be the youngest person in these weird adult parties with these aging actors and actresses, and you know, I'm 11, I don't care who Robert Wagner is, you know. I just sort of like, that was my life, because she knew a lot of people through her, and her boyfriend knew a lot of people. So yeah, so and then after I actually lived there, because of my mother's friends, because of all the people we would go stay with and we would go visit, you know, Brentwood and Beverly Hills and that part of Los Angeles was always very much kind of a part of my life. So I know from fake-ass California, I know from fake-ass Beverly Hills and fake-ass Malibu and fake-ass everything, because it is the capital. You may think that Vegas would be the capital of artificiality. No, it's LA. It's LA. And I love it. I do. I go back and visit my family. I have family in Orange County and LA and Ventura County. And I do. I love Malibu. I love, you know, I love Melrose, and I love Los Feliz, and I like a lot of neighborhoods in Los Angeles. And of course I still love Laguna Beach, my hometown. But oh my God, yeah, West LA, there's a lot of bullshit. Okay, let me give you an example. So I was visiting a friend, and we were shopping for bathing suits in Malibu in the little strip mall that is right next to one of the main headquarters of the agency, which is Mauricio's real estate agency, where he supposedly has 20 locations all around the world. Well, you know that he has not been doing well. He's been in trouble. He was sued for a bad deal. And in general, you know, the market has not been great, and his agency has really been a front in the show of showing it as this incredible success story with all of these branches. And it's funny because the one in Malibu, in this little strip shopping center, which is not impressive at all when you drive up, it's on the second story of this 2-story strip mall, basically, next to the bathing suit store where I bought my bikinis, you know, so not that posh, although it is Malibu. Malibu's Malibu. Anyway, so this is the one where they had filmed, I don't know how long ago, a year ago? At the most 2 years ago, this giant party celebrating so many years and the great success of the agency. So, and I know that this was supposed to be one of the flagship locations. You know, Malibu was supposed to be the flagship location. So I kind of walked up the stairs and looked inside. And what did I see? I saw kind of like half-done construction and nothing. No furniture. Clearly someone else had bought it and was turning it into something else. The sign was still up, but nobody was doing business in that place. Oh, maybe they moved to another location of what, you know, whatever, but that is prime real estate. It's on the ocean in Malibu, or across the street from the ocean in Malibu. You don't get much better than that. It's the most expensive real estate, some of the most expensive real estate in the country. That office clearly did not work out. Just saying. Okay, so Kyle's throwing this party to try and make herself relevant and feel better about her house, about her house. Let's get into that. What is the deal with that? Okay, there is no way they are making the kind of money to buy that house. I bet you 10 to 1 they're renting it. You know, Dorit and PK are renting the house that they're in. And I bet you dimes to donuts that Kyle and Mauricio are renting that house. Or if not, I don't know. I don't know how they would manage it. The only thing I can think of is, have they told us if it's actually in the Valley? Is it in, I mean, because I think they were in Encino before, or Sherman Oaks. Is it someplace like Northridge? If it's out in the Valley, it would be less expensive. That house in Beverly Hills or Bel Air or Malibu, I promise you, is well out of the reach of the ability to pay by Mauricio and Kyle. What do you think Kyle has? Escape from Wish Mountain money? I mean, what? No, she doesn't, you know. Remember, her sister married a Hilton, you know, and I don't think Mauricio is quite the big. They try and play it up like all the husbands are big deals. Who is really a big deal? Tom Girardi, Erica's husband. He's a big deal. But PK, Mauricio, I mean, Harry Hamlin, you know, these are not the top of the wealthiest. That's why I miss Lisa. Bring back Lisa and Ken. They had some real money. I don't know what Ken did to earn that money. I like to think that he was both in business and made investments, made excellent real estate investments. And I also like to believe, because of his slightly common accent, that he was also in with the London mob. Because if you know anything about my recaps of 90 Day Fiancé, I'm obsessed with wanting people to be connected to the mob. So in his case, the London mob, and in Andre and Elizabeth's case, the Moldovan mob, you know that I'm all about that. I want everyone to be connected to the mob or running from the mob, or trying to get into the mob. So anyway, all right, so yeah, that house I call BS, unless it's in a not perfect part of the valley, like it's in the flats in the valley, not in the hill of a valley. So Teddy is angry because she is boring. She hates life because she's agreed to do this show and she is not contributing anything to it. And she just in general looks like a person who has a face like a smacked ass. I've already explained to you what that means in a very early video, so you need to go back and look it up yourself. I'm not going to do everything for you, but she has a face like a smacked ass. She's just her personality is like she walks, just Teddy. Yeah, why is she on the show? Get her off. Oh, I need to say one other thing about Kyle. That hairstyle tells you all you need to know too, about how empty her life is. A woman that age who keeps long hair with bangs, it's a very bad sign. With blunt bangs, no. That hairdo is only for the very young or the very genetically blessed. As I've said before, the Heidi Klums of the world with the perfect jaws and the cheekbones and the big eyes, that is not a hairstyle for amateurs. And the fact that she hasn't gotten rid of those bangs yet and tried to grow them out, it's a bad sign. I don't know what's going on with Kyle, but it's a bad sign. All right. Oh God, now come the two hottest of hot messes who are actually, I think, probably having better lives and more fun than the so-called Real Housewives, and that would be Kim Richards and Brandi Glanville. Oh. I mean, throw in a couple more ladies and you'd have a Malibu rehab center right there. So, all right. So Kim and Brandi have somehow become great friends, which is a bit suspicious. I don't exactly know when and how that happened. I think it's a plot to get in this whole line of the show that they're going to have Brandi telling her story about her, you know, what's coming up. And so we have to have Kim kind of pushing her into confessing the truth about what happened with Denise. We have to have Kim there as a little, you know, oh no, say it, come on, it was horrible, say it, tell them. So Kim's function this season is basically to encourage and enable Brandi. Oh God, okay. Kyle goes to visit Camille, and Camille is so earnest. She makes me nervous. I've never seen anyone speak more earnestly, as if every word might be her last. And she doesn't want to offend anyone. She doesn't want to be on anyone's bad side. She just wants people to know her truth, because it has not been easy for her. So she invites Kyle over and stupidly thinks that Kyle is going to take her side in getting back in with the ladies. Kyle, who is the biggest snake, arguably, in any... Oh no, Lisa Rinna, sorry. Kyle, who is the second biggest snake, arguably, in any Real Housewives show. She is going to stab her in the back the first chance she gets, and yet, you know, Camille, being very earnest, tells Kyle that she really wants to reconnect, and so, you know, Kyle invites her to the black and white party, and she thinks that everything is going to be okay, and that everyone's going to come back together. They never were together. Everybody hated each other. She hated everyone. They hated her. Okay. Now, let me tell you the thing about Kyle. Kyle will be nice to you. She might even help you. But if you're an ex-housewife or a wannabe housewife, she will stab you in the eye with a shrimp fork rather than let you get on the show if she thinks you are any kind of a threat to her. Why do you think she loves Teddy? Is Teddy ever going to be anybody's favorite housewife? Hell no. We don't even remember that she's there. I'm like, no. No. Okay, now Denise and Unfrozen Caveman Husband arrive. Unfrozen Caveman Husband is also known as Aaron. Come to think of it, Teddy's husband also looks like an unfrozen caveman, an Encino Man, if you will, which is appropriate. But we all know Aaron is a little interesting, a little weird. I think Denise is Denise. I think that Denise is the only one on the show who just kind of is who she is. I don't think there's a lot of secrets there. I don't think there's a lot of BS there. And that's why it's so unconvincing when they try to make this entire season about Denise is not what she seems. She's not what she seems. You need to really dig deep with her. She's not that deep. Denise Richards is not that deep. She's busy. She's doing a lot of acting. Unlike the other ladies, she's doing a lot. So just, you know, she doesn't have time for all of these things that she's going to be accused of. She doesn't. All right. Oh, Wilson Phillips is the surprise musical guest, 1990 called. You know what? We didn't even like them in 1990. They were boring. And God, that song, Hold On, was just, if you existed in 1990, we still listened to the radio when we drove around. Sure, we had CD players. We even had CD changers in the back, in the trunk. Yeah, because we were styling. We were big time. But we still listened to the radio a lot. And I just remember getting my PhD at University of Maryland in DC in College Park, and just, oh God, that song just never left. It was on the radio for months and months and months. It was #1 for months. And it annoyed me so bad. So I was thrilled to see Wilson Phillips. And I love it the way that like Kathy Hilton and Kris Jenner are standing by the stage like, oh, singing along, you know, hold on for one more day, that song. And it would like get in your head and stick there and you couldn't get it out. It was one of those songs that you hated so much, but if you heard it, you couldn't get it out of your head. It was so annoying. Okay, oh, did you notice during the concert, little tidbit here, did you notice that Kim fell asleep? Was that just getting a little bit older, or was that pain pills from the breast augmentation or whatever it was? Anyway, I don't know, just saying, just noticed, not the most normal thing for a woman of her age to fall asleep in the middle of a concert, in the middle of a wild party. So, all right, good. Brandy is hammered. Again, you know, I don't think Brandy acts. Like, I feel like Leah in New York is acting, that she gets drunk to a certain point, but then she really puts it on. This looked pretty real. If Brandy wasn't really, really hammered, she is a better actress than I would have guessed, because she's just like falling over everywhere, tripping over everything. And the best is when she falls over, and she's 5'11". She's my height. She's got those long legs and those 5-inch heels. And I love it when she gets on her back like a beetle. It's gold. I tell you, it's gold. Okay, so, you know, curiously, Brandy and Adrian Malouf, who's there because it's Old Home Day apparently, and Kyle's sad house that she's trying to cover up and make into a happy home. Oh, I guess Brandy and Adrian have now reached the point where they have the exact same number of a volume of cc's of filler in their face, because they both have very similar lines. So I think that once you get to that point with a friend, that you have the exact same faces and the same amount of Restylane, you become soul sisters. You mate for life. I mean, I don't know, does Adrian's ex-husband maybe does everybody? I thought he was better than that, though. I thought Adrian's ex-husband was actually a good plastic surgeon. You know, he does Botched with Dr. Dubrow, and they seem kind of like they're good at what they do. And Adrian and Brandy are looking, they got that leopard look, that cat lady look. Okay, all right. No, God, they're saying, they bring up the word throuple, because this is going to be the whole through line of this season, is going to be bringing up different sexual things. And okay, now I said that Denise is usually, I don't think she's fake, but she says, what's a throuple? And yeah, I mean, come on, Denise, don't pretend you haven't had like sex with a trapeze and chairs hanging from the ceiling with 3 couples and, you know, a couple others, people watching. I mean, I think she's had a very varied and wild and exciting sex life. Nothing wrong with that. Also, nothing wrong that she doesn't want to give all those details to her children. Leave her alone. That's called being a good parent. You know, I mean, I did certain drugs when I was young. I'm not a mom, but I wouldn't like walk around telling my kids the stories about the time I took mushrooms and wandered around in public in Boulder, Colorado, and ended up laying in grass in a park seeing Chinese men in the clouds. Oh, did I say too much? Sorry. Anyway, you don't need to tell your kids everything. All right. Oh God. And, you know, they're trying to say, oh, Brandy loves to party. She loves to party. This is not partying. You got to stop saying that taking a whole lot of drugs and consuming mass quantities of alcohol is partying. This is just poisoning yourself. I mean, basically you're taking substances to such an excess that you're poisoning yourself. Why do you think you throw up when you drink too much? You've had too much, your body is rejecting it because it's poison. That doesn't mean I love to drink. Hey, love my wine, love my champagne. And once in a blue moon, I do go overboard, especially if I don't have enough food. That has happened to me. I am guilty as charged. But I always kind of think about it the next day and I'm like, oh, good going, classy move for a woman of your age. Yeah, real cute to be hugging, you know, worshiping at the porcelain altar at your age. Like I don't know better. Okay. Garcelle is really normal. She's grounded and happy and she has a lovely family. And what is she doing here? They must have paid her a lot of money because she has an actual career too. So I can only think they're like, quick, we need an African-American woman on this show. And I mean, Garcelle is just beautiful. She should have her own show. What is she doing with this group of haggy has-beens? I mean, you know, Garcelle is in the full bloom of her beauty and her career. And she's fancy. I mean, you know, she's just, I love her. So I hope she's a one-season housewife. I know people would kill me for saying that because they're like, no, she's normal, I love her, but she doesn't belong here. Kids, Garcelle does not belong on this show. Yeah, no. Okay, oh God, Lisa Rinna. I was born a drag queen. I just know I was born a drag queen. She's got that like ratty long wig. And she's just like, oh, every has-been woman my age, actually, is always like, oh, I was a gay man in my past life. I know. Because every time Lisa Rinna says anything in her confessional, she has to go. She absolutely cracks herself up. She's just, I'm terrible. She's truly horrible. Who do I dislike more, Lisa Rinna or Kyle? I'm going to go with Lisa, because she's also just a snake and just behind a lot of the BS that's going on in the show. And I don't understand what dirt she has on Andy Cohen. She must have some like horrible secret about him, because her part gets bigger and bigger. And I don't know why, because she is awful. Oh, I've disliked her for a long time, all the way back to Melrose Place. I never liked that girl. I always thought she overacted. And then when she went to the like hosting different TV shows, she would always show up everywhere. It's like, what, any place, you know, that you need a warm body, she will show up. She will be there. I feel like her role on the show is out of all proportion to how many people actually like her. Because if you ask anyone about the show, they're like, do you like Lisa Rinna? They're like, no, I can't stand her, you know, so, yeah, I mean, to me, she's, yeah. And I also feel like in her saying that she feels like she was born a drag queen, she has also just seriously insulted my beautiful sisters, not my beautiful sisters, but all the beautiful sisters who are actual drag queens. How dare you? You don't have the right to call yourself that. Especially not you. Not in this lifetime. Not today. Satan. Be gone. Oh, Erica, now I'm starting to hate you. I really liked you at first. I thought you were very kind of honest and open and real. You truly have a fascinating, actually super successful and wealthy husband and a really beautiful home, and you do have an interesting sense of style. I do enjoy your style. I enjoy your glam, all of that. But why is she just jumping on the shit stirring train this season? Last season too, but especially this season. She's just desperate to hate Denise. And come on, you guys, it just is so obvious. It says we're threatened by her. She's young. She's beautiful. She is very successful. They can't say any garbage about Garcelle, because let's just go ahead and say it. Garcelle is black, and they don't want to be the one who creates any drama with the first and possibly only black housewife of Beverly Hills. Yeah, about time. But anyway. I mean, honestly, I feel like, yeah, I'm worried about Erica. I feel like the fact that she is suddenly engaging in all this pettiness and the things that she used to rise above, the fact that she's doing that now and the fact that she's being so mean in her confessionals makes me think that something in her life is missing, and maybe something in her life is falling apart, which is concerning. I think before she was probably actually satisfied and happy, and now she's not. She's showing all the hallmarks of that kind of like the quiet desperation of the great beauty who is aging into obscurity. I mean, you know, she's still not to the point of being fake, although she's going to get there if she keeps talking about Chicago. But anyway, she's not as fake as Lisa Rinna, who actually, I think if you prick her with a needle, she would bleed like Restylane, formaldehyde, and rosé. I don't even think she's a real human being anymore. She's... Oh, and let's, by the way, keep all the focus off any of her home problems, any issues that might be happening with her husband. For example, Harry Hamlin, because it's normal to call your husband by his first and last name. Harry Hamlin. Okay. All right, now they are at Erica's shoe dazzle party, which I think, once again, I don't think she's designed any of these shoes, and I don't think it's her company either. She said, oh, now I have my own shoe line. I don't think she's designed anything. I think that this was a Chinese cheap shoe company that paid her a lot of money to be their face, the face of their line. I don't know. I haven't really looked it up, but it doesn't seem like, yeah, I don't see her doing that. Like, I think Dorit actually does design her own bathing suits. We know Kyle didn't design anything in that line. And by the way, we're not going to hear anything more about that Kyle and Shahida line. I think that's going to go nowhere fast. We're not going to hear about that again. You know, at least Sonia Morgan is constantly trying. You know, she kind of goes down a path and gives it up and fails, but at least she keeps trying. God bless her. All right. Ooh, big ugly cake is wheeled in. It's a giant yellow platform shoe that you know is going to taste chalky and horrible because those big giant cakes are never good. Trust me. Just give it a pass. Save the calories. Okay. Oh God. Then they're taking group photos of the woman. God. Women together. Kyle, put your leg down. Rinna, put your leg down. They've always like got their legs thrown up in the air like, oh, everyone wants to like get a glimpse of our nether regions. We're so hot. We're so sexy. We're so flexible. No, nobody wants to see that. Stop it. No. Yeah, again, during her confessional, I feel like Erica turned into Maleficent. When she's in that black and fuchsia outfit with the net here, and she's got her hair in that bun that's kind of all spiky on the side, doesn't she look like Maleficent? She looks like the evil queen, and she's just getting meaner and meaner and meaner. I don't know what she's worried about. She was in Wild Things. Yeah, we've all seen Wild Things. What? There was some nipple and threesome, but it's not like you saw everything. It wasn't porno. You're gonna tell me that Erica doesn't have any Gucci pictures somewhere? I'm just saying. I mean, come on. And P.S. Rinna posed in Playboy, and as far as I knew, back in the day, back in the 90s, I guess celebrities didn't show everything, but Playboy was showing everything in the 90s. They used to be classier than Penthouse, but by the 90s they were like, nope, we're gonna show everything because we gotta stay in business. All right. Oh God. I just every time Lisa opens her mouth, I just want to say, shut up, you pointy-faced little weasel. I'm so sick of her. Sutton is meeting with Garcelle, trying to kind of connect with her. I'm not mad at Sutton. I'm not mad at her. Yeah, I feel like she's kind of dialed back the fancy and is trying to kind of show everyone that no, she wasn't always fancy. I love Garcelle for saying, so how'd you get your money? Yeah, you don't usually ask that in New York. But it depends on where in New York, I guess. But anyway, you know, she said, you know, look, I married a guy who made a lot of money. Simple as, which is true. I looked it up. It's true. She doesn't have that much money, but I mean, there's having assets and then there's having your, I don't think she necessarily has a lot of real estate or a lot of assets, but I think she does get a very healthy spousal support check every month, which allows her to buy that Dolce & Gabbana couture that she loves so much. Okay, yeah, so Sutton, I'm not mad at Sutton. I'm not mad at her. Okay, we're just gonna skip right over. Anytime Lisa's poor, infantilized, exploited daughters appear in the show, we're just gonna move right past it because it's gross. I mean, I don't want to hear any more about their problems and their anxiety and their anorexia, and I don't want to hear about it. It's disgusting. Leave them alone. Leave them off the show. Stop it. You're so gross. She would sell like the last 3 minutes of her mother's life while they're unplugging her for enough money. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. Didn't her mother just die? I'm sorry. Oh, did her mother just die? No, her mother's a hoot. Her mother's Lois, right? I think she's still alive and she's fine. Oh, I love Lois. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. I'm just saying she will exploit anybody. Maybe not her mother, but anybody else she'll exploit. Okay. So now we have, I'm just going to say that, so Rinna's snowflake dark-haired daughter, whichever one that is, Amelia, I don't care, is looking for an apartment. She's got OCD. She goes through all these things that she has to have, blah, 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 blah. Right now, people are having their support checks cut from $600 to $200 a week because they're unemployed for months and months and months. And even before this whole thing, this was filmed before this whole thing that we're in right now, the fact is, we don't need to hear this. It's one thing to see these women in these extremely wealthy houses, but I think there's something fundamentally depressing about a young girl who should be going to school and working, talking about how, no, I'm not going to do anything unless it has security and, you know, a lobby and front door and what this and that, and I need a pretty refrigerator, she says. Shut up. Shut up. You're coming with me to Zambia. That's what I have to say to anybody like that. I have any young person like that. You and me together, we're going to Lusaka. I'm going to show you how people live. And you can tell me how you can't live without a pretty refrigerator. Bitch, please. Okay, Kyle's daughter is, I think, just showing up to show that, yay, I work for my dad now because my dad's so successful. He's super successful. He's doing great. Everything's great. My mom and dad are getting along great. They have sex all the time. Yeah. Okay. Now, Lisa Rinna's confessionals, where she laughs at herself and she thinks she's so hysterical, are terrible. Her jokes are terrible. And they're made even worse by the fact that after every one-liner, she thinks every clever bon mot she's spraying out there, she laughs uproariously at herself. And when I first met my husband, I knew he was very funny. I was like, this guy's really funny. He's got a really wicked sense of humor. But the one thing he would do is after he would say something funny, this was like 15, 16 years ago, he'd go, and I was like, listen, let me tell you something, because I know from funny and I love funny. Funny is, I know every woman says that, but it's essential to me. Yeah, they also have to be tall and good looking and be able to provide a nice life, and I'll provide a nice life for them. But I need funny, like really funny. And so I told him, you know what, just don't laugh. Just don't. Just, if you could feel that little thing like you want to giggle at your own joke, just don't. Just deliver it deadpan. Just say whatever you're going to say and then just... Lisa's never learned that. She's just, everything she says, she cackles, and she's about as funny as Ann Coulter. And if you want to know that reference, look up the roast of, oh God, I don't remember who the Comedy Central roast, I don't remember who they were roasting. Donald Trump, maybe? Before he was president. Anyway, Ann Coulter, the conservative, highly opinionated, what do you want to call her? Succubus, Skeletor. She was on it, and she was the least funny person I've ever seen in my life. Until Lisa Rinna. I think until Lisa Rinna. Okay, now everyone is getting ready to go to Rome, because that's going to be the trip this time. They're all going to go to, oh God, any place sounds good now. I mean, they'll go to all the touristy places, but you know what? I would kill to go to Rome right now. I would kill to go to the Bahamas. I would kill to go to Tijuana, to cross the border to Tijuana. I'm like, I need to get out of the country. So no, I would be very excited, and I'm sure they, you know, they do it on a very opulent scale, but they're all packing with their fake gay friends, with their fake gay best friends. I love it the way that everyone has their glam people. Everyone has their, you know, Erica has her squad, Dorit has hers, Kyle has hers. They all have their glam, except Garcelle, who's like, you know, I'm a working mom. I don't have money for that. And, and I think Sutton says she can afford glam, but she doesn't necessarily want to bring it. I don't know if she will or not. Anyway, the glam always consists of these fake gay best friends. And let me tell you, I have great experience with these. Over the years, I have had hairdressers and stylists in various department stores, which shall not be named, when I used to spend way too much money on clothes with my ex-husband. And, you know, you sit down and they bring you champagne and they bring you beautiful dresses to try on and they tell you how amazing you look in everything, even if you look like a sack of potatoes. And then there's the, you know, the overpriced hairstylist who tells you you're a goddess, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. When you walk in the salon, everyone wants to know, who's that girl, da, da, da. And then you know what you find out when you get a little older? Those people are not your friends. They're not your real friends. They're not. When business dries up, when something goes on, you know, when things change, it's very rare that those people will be in your life and will truly be with you to the, you know, long term. They might be with you for 10 years, but that doesn't mean, don't mistake people who work for you. That's a very cold thing to say, but it's true. Don't mistake people that work for you as friends. And I do it all the time. I do it all the time because I want everyone to be my best friend, and I'm very generous, and I want to give everybody presents, and I want to send everybody cute little notes and messages and love and kisses and hugs, and I'm extremely affectionate. And you know, fortunately, I have a wonderful housekeeper now who is just like part of the, I hate it when people say this, but she really is part of the family. She's amazing. And I would say that she's the only exception. I would say that I really do consider her like a sister. And when something happens, when she's sick or someone in her family's sick, or she, you know, is in the hospital now, like, we are there for her. My husband is her attorney. He does, you know, when she needs help with taxes, we have a CPA that we use for her. We'll do anything for her. She's had a very challenging life, and she's an amazing, strong woman. And that, I would say, is the exception. So you don't want to say never. You know, sometimes there are people, and we've known her for like 8 or 9 years now. She just came home from the hospital with her new baby boy. So yeah. So I shouldn't say, you know, don't have that kind of attitude where it's like, no, don't ever get too close. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd just say, don't confuse. Most people who work for you are there to be fed. They're there for the money. And they might think you're pretty. They might admire you. They might think you're funny. They might enjoy spending time with you. But the fact is, you know, if tomorrow Erica loses everything somehow, I don't know how that could happen. Oh, I don't know. He might have made her sign a really harsh prenup. I don't know. But if she ends up losing everything and moving to Barstow, I don't think her glam squad are going to say, you know, well, oh, we're going to meet all the time. We're still going to see you all the time. I bet you she never sees them again. All right. Okay. As for Erica being in Chicago, if you didn't know this, let me let you in on something. Chicago is the last stop for either wannabe but aren't going to make it too far actresses, or actresses in the twilight of their career. The character of Roxy Hart is not going to be played by an old actress, an older actress, but it's going to be played by, let's say, a mature actress in her 40s. And it's a very easy role. It's not challenging in terms of singing. They're trying to make like it's so difficult. It's not challenging. That's not the challenging role. And it's not challenging in terms of dancing. The other role is Velma is much more challenging. And it's not that challenging in terms of acting. So that's why Lisa Rinna has played Roxy Hart. That's all you need to know. If Lisa Rinna has played Roxy Hart, if you want to have some fun, Google actresses and TV stars who have played Roxy Hart, and you will just laugh. It's like, you know, I don't know if this is true, but I'm just thinking like the girl who played Sabrina, the teenage witch. I mean, just any random person you can ever think of has been Roxy in Chicago. So it's about as exciting as Luann's cabaret show. It's not, yeah, it's nice. She's going to be on Broadway, and she'll do it for a few months, and it is exciting. And I'm not, you know, I'm not completely poo-pooing it. I'm just saying it's not the, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. You know what that was for Erica? Marrying Tom Girardi. That was, oh my God, I'm so lucky. How did this happen to me? Don't get so excited about playing Roxy Hart in Chicago, because I don't even like that musical. I've never liked that musical. Okay, so yeah, actually, you know, I have a sort of a hierarchy of how your career goes for someone like Lisa Rinna. Erica Girardi doesn't quite fit in because she already has tons of money, so she's not so hungry. But for the hungry actresses, it goes real job, like good acting job, good, either good in terms of quality or good in terms of like a long term, that you're in a long running TV show, you're in Grey's Anatomy or something like that. Okay, then you make a Lifetime movie. Then you have a doomed clothing line that fails, which may or may not be on QVC. Then you're on Dancing with the Stars. Then you play Roxy Hart in Chicago. Then you have a painful divorce and you're replaced by a much younger woman. And that is basically the life cycle of the middle-aged Hollywood actress, just to let you in on that. Okay. So, oh God, here comes the big finale. Okay, Kim comes in to drop off this whole thing. This, I'm just gonna call it, this is the most staged, fake, nonsensical scene ever in the history of the Housewives franchise. You heard me say it, and I'm gonna stand by it until they make something even faker. This was absolutely shocking as far as I was concerned. It was so obviously staged and fake. Okay, so Kim drops something off at the house that she left, you know, and needed to give Kyle, or she picked up something that she left behind. And she's going out with Brandy to celebrate, I think, to celebrate Brandy's birthday. So she leaves Brandy in the car. Why would she do that? Why would she happen to stop by Kyle's house on the way to taking Brandy to dinner for her birthday and not have Brandy come in and say hi so everyone could at least wish her happy birthday? Weird, extremely fake. Okay, and you know, it's so funny because Brandy's in the car, but she's conveniently mic'd with full television makeup, you know, lighting camera ready, and yeah, she's like someone backstage going on to a major part. You know, she's like talking herself into going in there and having her big moment in her Housewives career, which is going to be kickstarting the rumor that Denise Richards forced her to have sex with her. Okay. You know, I'm surprised that huge 5'11" daddy long legs Brandy, who is by no means frail, she's skinny but she's not frail, I'm surprised she doesn't go all the way and say that Denise raped her. And Denise is tiny. Denise Richards is tiny. She's little. Anyway, okay, so Kyle and Teddy start talking their one line for the season. They start saying to Brandy, conveniently, they start the conversation. Brandy doesn't just walk in and say, Denise forced herself on me and we had sex. She can't just walk in and say that. You know, the producers and everyone, they have to have it kind of like keyed up. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. But it's not one of those so bad it's good like New Jersey. It's just bad. It's bad. It's horrible reality TV. It's shame. Shame. Schade. Shame, as what's her name said in Game of Thrones. Shame. Shame. God, that one was terrifying. It was like my grandmother. I had a grandmother like that. Yeah. Okay, so Kyle and Teddy go off on their one note for the season, which is, you know, we were over at Denise's house and we were talking about threesomes and things like that, and Denise got all upset that her children who were sitting at the table nearby, her teenage daughters, and I guess the youngest one's 11, heard us talking about a threesome, and she asked us could we please not talk about things like that when her children were in earshot. And everyone was just so offended by that. And you know, Denise did exacerbate the situation by saying a couple times later that, you know, she wished they hadn't talked about that. in front of the kids that wish they would have waited for another time, and that Eloise, one of the daughters, came up to her and said, "Mommy, what's a threesome?" So, I mean, apparently, you know, I think it was a sincere, I don't think Denise was trying to act prissy. Denise never said, "Oh, I would never have a threesome," or "I've never been with a woman." She didn't say that. No, she doesn't pretend to be pure. She'll tell you, "I was in Playboy, I've done sex scenes." You know, she doesn't, she was married to Charlie Sheen. She's broken bread at Thanksgiving with prostitute. You know, I mean, she's pretty open about that stuff. She doesn't try to act like she's so high and mighty and prissy. But is there anything wrong with her maybe wanting to protect her younger girls from knowing everything right away? Do they have to hear everything? Does she have to pop in an old VHS of Wild Things and show them the threesome scene with Matt Dillon and Neve Campbell? You know, every Saturday night, "Come on, kids, bring the popcorn. Time to see Mommy have a threesome. Time to see how great Mommy's boobs were when she was," however old she was when she made that movie, 20 or something like that. She was pretty young. And she was magnificent. Let me tell you, Denise Richards in that movie is spectacular. She is so beautiful. Anyway, so, you know, the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous, and they're making a mountain out of a molehill, and they're clearly trying to push Denise off the show because they hate her, because she's a threat to them, because Teddy and Kyle are just sad. They're just sad, and they're getting sadder, and their stories are getting less and less interesting, and they're fighting for their place. And in the meanwhile, Lisa Rinna the shark is behind them in the water, smelling blood, sniffing behind them, ready to come up and take over, you know, as head bitch in charge for the show. So, yeah, so anyway, it's really funny because I don't know why, just because someone has made some very softcore porn. I wouldn't even call Wild Things softcore porn. You see nipple and buttock. That's it. It's not that bad. And she was in Playboy, again, in a tasteful one, not one of those, you know. Actually, I haven't seen it, but I think it was, usually the actresses do the tasteful ones. They kind of keep their legs more closed. I could ask my husband, he'd know. He probably has that issue somewhere because he loves him some Denise Richards, let me tell you. So because you've done that, that means that you should have a swingers party and invite your children. It's crazy to me. It's so illogical and so stupid, and makes Kyle and Teddy and the others and Erica, who's like, why is she being, why, what does she have to hide? What does she have to hide? That's all I'm saying. What does she have to hide? I mean, ugh, Erica's giving me the creeps. Okay, so, Kim is that little dog rat thing in Star Wars that sits next to Jabba the Hutt. And every time Jabba the Hutt says something, the little rat dog goes and like encourages him. Because Kim's whole role is to push Brandy into telling her horrible secret that she had sex with Denise. The horrible secret that all of us have known for months and months and months, unless you've been living in a hole. Everybody knows it. I mean, tribal people in, you know, Kyrgyzstan know that Brandy Glanville is claiming to have had sex with Denise Richards. So, anyway, so so Brandy tells her story. Ugh. Brandy tells the story, and she tells us in such a dramatic way. She really makes it sound like all of a sudden Brandy is like this, like, I'm this young innocent girl, and you know, she wanted me to come and stay in her house when we were in wherever it was, I don't know, someplace in the Northwest. And, you know, we were both going to be there. So she said, why don't you come and sleep in my room? And there was only one bed. And she said, come on, join me. And she tells this whole story like Brandy, who we've all seen with her legs up in the air and saying the crassest, filthiest things imaginable. That she's suddenly like this very young girl who's telling this story of being raped in a fraternity house in college. And she's talking like this. And yeah, she basically makes it sound, she doesn't say that, you know, like, oh, she raped me, but she makes it sound like Denise definitely kind of forced herself upon her, that she was like extremely insistent. So I guess the first night they kissed, and the second night, you know, she says, what does she say? We hooked up or whatever. Those words are so broad though, but yeah, she means they've had sex. Okay, so, you know, the thing is funny is Brandy just vomits all this negative stuff about Denise and says, you know, she's not who you think she is. You have to be careful of her. She's dangerous. Like, she's this dangerous person. And I love the way Teddy and Kyle and Kim, who've all been stung by Brandy, are sitting there like, wow, really? And they're just eating up every word because Brandy's little story fits in with their agenda and Lisa Rinna's agenda and Erica's agenda. Let's get Denise off the show. She's very popular. She's very likable. She's very real. Let's get her off the show. So, yeah, suddenly Brandy is apparently seen as this pillar of truth and virtue by the other housewives, and they're just going to believe every word she says, which is just bizarre. And, you know, she says something about how, you know, and I just feel so bad because I know what it's like to be cheated on. Brandy Glanville, get over Leanne Rimes. Please, for the love of God, get over Leanne Rimes. Look, Leanne Rimes isn't doing that great, okay? You don't look that great either, but neither one of you are exactly killing it, crushing it. So just stop it. That ex-husband of yours was a jerk anyway. Stop it. Yeah, so I think I'm going to say Teddy and Kyle are the worst housewives in history. They're despicable. Yeah, I really strongly dislike both of them. And that's saying a lot. Are they Vicki Gunvalson bad? No. Are they Kelly bad from Orange County? No. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think when Kelly apologizes, she actually means it. Anyway. Okay. Then immediately Teddy goes and tells the story to giant mouth, inflated lipped Lisa Rinna, so that it is now going to go everywhere. It's going to be, you know, the Bush telegraph in Africa, and people are going to be sending smoke signals and semaphores, and people in the most remote Icelandic and you know, Greenlander villages are going to be hearing the news. Great person to tell Teddy, go straight to Lisa Rinna. I mean, just, it's awful. And, you know, when Rinna hears this, I'm sorry, she practically orgasms. You can tell she's like, all my dreams are coming true. So I would like to end this by saying, Denise, just get off the show. You don't need it. You're a working actress, which is something amazing. That's an accomplishment, to be a working actress. You know, bravo to you. You got out of an ugly divorce with a crazy person with some dignity. You're doing a good job with your kids. You have a crazy husband, but he seems, I was gonna say he seems nice. No, actually he seems a little weird, but possibly a little violent. Okay, maybe dump the Real Housewives and Aaron, I don't know. But you deserve better than this, okay? And I'm on your side, whatever you choose to do. But I hope you decide to get the hell off this shit show. And on that note, I have finished my first 2 recaps of the Real Housewives franchise with New York and then Beverly Hills, and I will recap Happily Ever After episode 7 from last night, and I will have that up probably also tomorrow. I will have these 2 Housewives up Tuesday. I'm filming this Monday night, and then hopefully I will have the other one up as well. But at the latest, I'll have the Happily Ever After I'll have on Wednesday. So thank you so much for joining me. Please do remember to subscribe, like, comment. I love doing this, but I do give my heart for you. So give me a little love back. It'd be greatly appreciated, okay? Take care, and I will see you soon.